Science has found out that the photon, the light, becomes more brighter and more photons are manifested, and you become the self-effulgent light, which is what Paramashiva is. And you are vibrating in a higher frequency, which is what Paramashiva is. And when you vibrate with universal frequency, Bhagavan says, you are enlightened. All that we have to understand is why I am holding this cognition of the delusion being reality. And how does it help? It is not helping us. It was not there before we were born, and it is not going to be there after we die. So in this period of time, we are holding something which is not even ours and which does not give us any clarity but puts us into more delusion, boredom, tiredness and restlessness, disease and death. More of the incompletions that we are constantly faced because of the delusion which we think is real. And Bhagavan gives for Chaturmasya to be in more conscious serenity, completely is surrendered to Bhagavan's lotus feet by doing the unclutching and holding the inner space in a higher vibration that you are awareness, you are consciousness, you are Paramashiva. When people asked, what do Bhagavan see? When he was asked in a hall, he sees as vibration. He doesn't see as only matter. He sees as vibration, as a immature vibration or more concrete vibration or blocked vibration as humans. So he sees in a different dimension how we exist. If we understand how we exist is consciousness, Paramashiva, and what all is manifested is Parashakti. As each one of us, that Paramashiva and Parashakti becomes reality, we live in the superconscious space of Paramashiva, the conscious serenity becoming the reality. Bhagavan has beautifully given the great science of Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana for the power of length dimension. This is from Sai Satcharitra, chapter 45, 44. And beautifully he says, in 11 days he is going to leave the body and asking them to chant all the great scriptures. And as they chant, and on 11th day he left his body into the deep samadhi. The greatest of all that, even the animals, even a beautiful monkey doesn't fall down dead in the middle of eating or middle of it jumping through the trees, but it goes to a place, a remote place, and sits for a few days where it stops eating and leaves the body. The minute it has left the body, other monkeys come and clear it immediately. Nobody has sighted a dead monkey so far. To that extent, they keep it clean. Even rats, when they eat poison, they don't fall down dead immediately. They go to their home and leave their body. It is very fortunate how even the animals knows when they are going to leave their body. We humans have to really learn from them how to leave a body. And the greatest science, when you're aware of such great science, you will know how you can leave the body. Bhagavan beautifully says how we can manifest our reality when we know conscious sovereignty is the very purpose of life.
Depth, I'll give you some example. When people bring food, I do not enjoy the taste of the food. I enjoy the attitude and the love with which the food is brought. That is what makes me joyful. Otherwise, there is no pleasure. Same way when these kids jump dance, I do not enjoy their steps or the physical movements or their dimensions. The bliss they carry, the attitude they carry, the cognition they carry. Swamiji is seeing. I'm dancing for him. That cognition is what I enjoy. Understand that depth. There's a big difference. A man who is length-based will enjoy only the dimensions of the person who is dancing, or the dress of the person who is dancing, or the movements of the person who is dancing. If somebody is based on the breath, they will enjoy the emotions expressed, the attitudes shown, bhava, the art part of it. A length-based person will enjoy the sexual part of it, the physical dimension. A breath-based person will enjoy the art form of it, part of it, the emotion. The depth-based person enjoys the cognition with which they dance. Understand, that is the difference between the length, breadth and depth. I am excited because I am going to make these kids materialize, teleport. understand, listen carefully. When they move to the length dimension, they can change anything they want. They can actually physically play with things, physically act with things. So even though I am excited about the depth, because I think from the beginning I am a doer. Even in me, when these powers started manifesting, the first question I asked Vibhudananda Puri, actually these powers started manifesting in me much before I even had darshan of Arunagiri Yogeshwara. Arunagiri Yogeshwara gave only the depth related powers. These length related powers have started manifesting in me. Even Vibhudananda Puri and Yogananda Swami, they manifested it. These powers in me. And the first, when it started manifesting, the first question I asked Vibhudananda Puri, what is the use? She got really annoyed. Because these powers come after 25-30 years of practice. And she was screaming, even after 40 years of tapas, only once in a while when I am in samadhi, I can manifest these powers. You fellow, you are casually playing with all these powers and you are asking me, what is the use? I said, no, I am not disrespecting, but what's the use? Then she said, whenever she feels that I am very difficult to handle and she can't handle me, she'll send me to somebody. She'll say, go and ask Visri Swami. That's all. Visri Swami, anything you ask, BD only, that's all. He will never answer. He will never open the mouth. Just go on. Hey, get the next one. And he'll pick up the next BD. And it's very difficult to get an answer from him. And it means I know that that question cannot be answered at that moment, or I cannot be handled at that moment. That's all is the answer. I'll just keep quiet. So when I asked this question also, I did not get any answer. They just know I cannot be handled at that moment. And they just, she said, go and ask Visri Swami. Sometimes with Visri Swami it is too funny. Yogi Ravsanath Kumar, he will do all that and I will ask question and he will be smoking. After 3-4 hours I will again ask question. He will be smoking the BD. After 2-3 hours again I will ask the question. Hey, pour the tea in the coconut. That he will have a coconut shell in which he used to drink. Pour the tea in that. That is the answer. That is the answer I will get. Nothing more. Nothing can move. Nothing will happen. He will just say, hey, pour the tea. Tea utrada. In very colloquial Tamil. He doesn't speak fluent Tamil, so he will tell in very colloquial Tamil. Tea utra. Otherwise, somebody else, some other devotees come. He will complain to them. Means he will say, in colloquial Tamil, that I can't handle this fellow. When you are going, take this fellow and go. And he will tell. Only Arunagiri Yogeshwara can solve. If only he was able to handle me. He was able to handle all the questions. Or immediately experientially able to give answers. I remember once very clearly. Visri Swami was sitting and fanning. He used to have a fan, hand fan, made of palm leaf. And I don't know how many of you were close enough to him. I've been very close enough to him. And he will be sitting and fanning. Once like this, some question I was asking. Finally, he got so fed up. He said, my father has to come directly to answer all your questions and problems. He will come. Go. In few days, I had darshan of Arunagiri Yogeshwara. He said it in such a way, only my father can handle you. We all can't handle you. Only my father has to come to handle you, fellow. Only he can solve and answer all your questions.
So beautifully, that is a wax of Ram Surat Kumar. He was a great devotee, that non-stop he used to chant Ramanama. And that is the science that really puts us into the next dimension. How we can manifest all these powers in such a phenomenal way. Now we have Shakshi Pramana, the millions of disciple, devotees, followers all around the world manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Finally, in the courtyard, how they experienced, they are sharing that science now.
Questions on different subjects. All those things that were happening, like I would go up to someone that's in my group and I would say, "What is my father's first name?" And she said, "George." And I'm like, how in the hell does she know my father's first name? Then somebody asked me, when did I graduate from pharmacy school? And I look in this mirror that has this black Jnananjana on it, and the numbers are written in the mirror, 1994, and that's exactly when she graduated from pharmacy school. So these experiences of oneness that we have through Shaktipat are expressing themselves in an ability to have knowledge that as yet the world has seen this kind of.
Beautiful. If you understand the science, Mahapariva learned 18 languages. He has never gone to any schools. All these great people, they can learn everything in just one listening, whether it is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi, Vivekananda, all the great of them, how they learn in just one listening, everything that is there in the world. The only understanding is the higher you are vibrating, you are in a higher intelligence state. So by the intelligence, you understand the how you function. If you are finding a parking lot in a very tight parking lot of 1,000 cars, it's so difficult. If you just raise yourself into the 7th or 8th floor, you will be able to just look out and spot it in a minute. That is exactly how the intelligence, cosmos is a feedback intelligence. What you cherish most, it keeps expanding that, expanding that. And if you cherish conscious serenity, the frequency, the very way you exist, and you will start vibrating in the same frequency as the universal frequency, and you will start experiencing the higher intelligence, and you will start manifesting all the higher reality. Nothing is lost. It's only you can command over your reality, or you are stuck in your reality. That is the delusion when you're stuck, and when you command, you are manifesting the science of our manifestation. This very science is given to us as ultimate truth, and in simple way that we can just sit down and have a cup of coffee, entangle with Bhagwan, and experience this science. We studied 25 years to become a doctor, or even 40 years to become a PhD scientist. But here in 40 seconds, 40 minutes, we are given the possibility to experience the superconscious breakthrough, who we are, the higher reality. By every method, we have to do a lot of tapas. Here, just a glimpse into our own self. Again and again, when we chant the Mahavakya raises the frequency and makes us manifest the powers. If you have the Jnananjan, you can apply in your third eye and your temple. You can write some logical questions, the mathematical sums, or you can write some derivation that you don't know, or anything. Ramanuja, where he just downloaded all the great texts, he said very clear, I don't know mathematics. For me, mathematics is Devi. And whatever she says, I just tell you, I have no idea. That is the amount of humbleness that he had and surrender that he had. And he was the most intelligent. Even nobody on planet Earth still have cracked his formulas and his teachings. That level, he just said, for me, everything, every formula is Devi herself. How that could be true, each one of us can experience. Not only the avatars, all of them. Krishna studied in a Gurukul only for a few months, 6 months or so. And Buddha studied for a month or so. Prahlada studied just a week or so. All of them were the greatest happening, who just downloaded the whole science. And the Veda Vyasa was given in a glimpse, all the Vedas and all the Upanishads in a glimpse by Brahma himself. All these scriptures again and again tell us how we can learn just in a jiffy the whole science when we are conscious serenity. If we decide very firmly that I want to live conscious serenity as our reality, that's all matters. Then it starts unfolding in us as higher science and higher reality, removing all the delusion and making us understand who we are, the very nature, how we exist. Now you write all the questions and leave it and just let's get into the deep oneness space. Whatever Paramashiva wants to give us an answer, let him download and manifest as reality. Be very clear that you are Paramashiva, and that is the only thing that we need to hold. Vibrate yourself in a higher frequency and entangling with the quantum space, that universal frequency that Bhagavan is, quantum space. When you start chanting the Mahavakya, intensely holding Paramashiva in your inner space and unclutched from everything in the outer world, anything in the outer world is not real as we perceive. The existential reality is much more different. The way we perceive is only how we exist, and we paint the picture just like that. How we exist is quantum, then we will paint everybody in a higher quantum Paramashiva space. So let's sit and complete completion with everything in the outer world. The essence of complete completion is making it redundant, not hiding under the carpet, making it redundant. It doesn't even exist. All the incompletion are yours, but they do not belong who you are. That is what Bhagavan says. It is all ours. The cloud is part of the whole sky, but it does not tamper the sky. That is how we are pure. We are consciousness. Nothing touches us, whether we lose our hand or lose the closest people or lose our wealth. Nothing touches us, because in the dream, in the deep sleep, we are not touched. So why are we touched now? It is the choice that we gave. Just make it redundant and irrelevant. The problems are there, but it is not ours. It is not who I am. It might be ours, but it is not who I am. The moon has all the wedges. Because of the light from the sun, it shows those wedges, but it is not the very moon's fault. The moon is so beautiful with the light, reflecting the light. And because it is reflecting, it is showing all these incompletions in it. But the very moon is the greatest happening. Same way, all that is the happening as conscious serenity as our reality. Now let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line, entangle with Bhagavan and continuously chant the Mahavakya to raise our frequency to match it up to the universal frequency, dissolving ourselves, falling at Bhagavan's lotus feet, and completely whatever you're stuck, surrender it. More and more you surrender at Bhagavan's lotus feet, more and more you understand the greater reality who you are. So let's start the chanting of Mahavakya. Do it intensely with a deep earning and sit as Paramashiva, Parashakti with your 25 heads, not powerless, 25 heads, 75 eyes and 50 hands. You have to be 50 times more aware of what you are right now. Every moment only unclutching and holding Paramashiva as your verbalization and visualization. Let's experience the oneness, raise our frequency and manifest Paramashiva as our reality. So let's start the power manifestation of chanting the Mahavakya.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour.
So beautiful. Whatever we have experienced, open your eyes and verify whatever prasada you have received. Verify authentically the answers for the questions that you have asked is correct. And if you've just given mathematical sum, you can use a calculator to verify the answers. Beautifully, there was a kid in one of the programs, Bhagwan's programs, and that kid was literally a calculator. And he was answering everything, whatever we asked and how many ever numbers we put, he was giving to the decimal and all the details. So we were very happy, and we want to put him on the stage so everybody could see how Just by one program, he could become a human calculator. Something opened in him. So we went to the stage and he started the whole ritual of setting everything. And then one person came to ask the question. And he said, I'm a principal. I would like to ask this question. The minute he said he's a principal, the boy lost all his confidence and he said, I will not answer him. And we were so confused as to why he will not answer. And then he said, I will only put my question, then answer only those questions. And then he wrote his questions and answered it correctly. But he was caught up in the root pattern of self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred, even though he was so good. For past 20 days, he has done it so well. But the minute the principal word he heard, he just lost everything into the delusion. That is exactly how we are. Just one word, we lose all the confidence and who we are and get deluded again and again. And Bhagavan beautifully says that only can happen to again and again when you're seeking continuously as Paramashiva. You can avoid these things and detox your body completely. The parasites which are reacting and puts you into the again and again in delusion can be removed just by one herb that he can give you and it will be removed. The greatest science, all the science is available for us. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, just by one touch, he made Vivekananda experience the higher reality. Even for 3 days, he was having no difference between the food, the action, and what he was understanding. Everything was just vibrating in one. That's all he experienced. And then after 3 days, he understood what is the science of the higher reality. Bhagavan gives us conscious sovereignty as our reality when he prepares us through all this power manifestation. And how we learn to walk and talk, everything takes years. All this fluttering to settle down, it takes few months. And then we start understanding the higher science, how we can manifest consciously our reality. So now we'll have one more cycle and we'll do you can write any more questions from the internet, or you can have a partner and they can give you the questions. This is length dimension. You can simply change anything of any dimension in the length just by understanding this great science. You write the questions and whatever Bhagavan downloads, write it down and you will simply see the answers appearing so clearly and vividly. When the kids, Balasants, were made to sit on the chairs and put them to test, they had to answer some SAT questions, JE questions, all kinds of questions. And they answered 40 to 60%, even though it was not for their age. When we kept a Mensa test for them, simply they were able to write even the question when the page number was given. To that extent, they were able to download. And it was weird questions. And simply they were able to write the answers so perfectly. This science is given by Paramashiva to us because we are in Kailash Courtyard. He has initiated us into the higher science. Let's experience that by connecting to Paramashiva again and again. We have learned how to learn logically through senses. Let's learn how quantumly we can learn the greater science. Let's sit straight with the head, neck and spine in a straight line. Start chanting the Maha Vakya with a deep oneness, melting yourself into the oneness of Paramashiva and vibrating in the higher frequency, catching up the existential reality, the conscious frequency, and experiencing the higher reality and manifesting the powers. Let's start chanting the Maha Vakya.
Open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third actions. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes.
Paramashivoham.
Let the Amrita pour. Let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Beautiful. Please open your eyes, and whatever prasada you have received today, the conscious sovereignty as your reality, just melting in that beautiful space, please go ahead and share from that space itself. All that Bhagavan is showering on us, we have to make sure we are sharing those great signs to the world. Please share it in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. Even a small eraser, we are not getting it free. But here, Bhagavan is giving the ultimate consciousness, conscious sovereignty as our reality. So much of peace, so much of happening in our life, healing, auspiciousness, abundance simply happens when we align to the higher reality. And please share your experiences, even in the outer world, how things have changed. You can share different things and thank Bhagwan for all that he is giving us. And if you have a dollar of your a unit of your currency, you can offer it in the dollar sign that you see it on the bottom. Please go ahead and contribute to Kailasha. All this great science is brought to you only by Kailasha, Bhagwan himself. So thanking him with a deep yearning to become Paramashiva itself and deep seeking for Paramashiva's space, and thanking Bhagwan with a deep gratitude that whatever he gives as our reality, and again making us manifest all this greater science, thanking each one of you, whoever is there, and manifesting these powers. So, with that deep gratitude, let's end the session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavate Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam Paduka Arpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam. Thank you so much and see you in the after next darshan, next satsang in Kailash Kotiyar Manifesting Power Sessions.